Yes, exactly. What I think is very important about your story is that you had your first child at 24.
Yep. Yeah. I had her at 25. Yeah.
25. And then you had your second child when you were 35.
Yeah.
So you had a decade in between birth. So talk about your first time having a child, Hermione. What was kind of like the popular maybe pregnancy culture or what people were telling you?
Yeah.
Like that, because a lot of times, like right now, it's the big talk is vaccination.
Yeah.
What was the bigger talk for you when you got pregnant? Like, how did you travel through that?
Yeah. So when I got pregnant, I've always had more of like a natural mindset of things. I knew what I wanted, even though I was single mom from conception. I knew I had these ideas that I wanted to follow through with. And I think it's really interesting thinking back about it because I was like, I'm not getting an epidural. I'm having natural birth. And people are just like pushing back on it a lot, already, even from the beginning. And I was just like, I'm so confused. This is just something that I want. I didn't understand that this was like, felt so political or something that I wanted to do it this way.
Yeah.
And I remember someone really close to me in my life telling me, don't be an idiot and get the epidural. And I was like, I'm not doing it. And then everyone was like, you'll change your mind. And I was like, no, I won't. You don't know me.
Yeah.
And I didn't change my mind. And even the labor and delivery nurse, I had her at Johnson Memorial, and they were like, I went in at midnight with pretty much like the beginning of my contractions, and I had her at 6 a.m. So that was a 6-hour total birth from start to finish.
Oh my gosh.
2 pushes, no epidural, nothing. Like they barely caught her. I was like, I'm having this baby, and like my doctor wasn't there, and she came in as I was having her. Yeah, as I was pushing. So they were just like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, but I did prenatal yoga at oh gosh, what's that studio downtown? It's been there for a long time. I can't think of it. It's over by the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
I did prenatal yoga there, and I even though I didn't know what I know now, I still really prioritized my diet as much as possible. I had hyperemesis, which is like you can't even keep water down, like you throw it up. Like it was bad. Like it's like kind of a condition. But I still like really prioritized as much as I could food. I ate steak all the time. My mom was constantly taking me to, I was like, I want steak. And she's like, weird, but okay. I was like, no, I need it. Yeah. And so I had a whole, I would say a holistic birth experience, even being young, being a single mom and not knowing exactly. It was more intuitive to me. It was more just like, I knew what I wanted, and I knew I didn't want to do what everyone else was telling me. So, but that really shifted even more so into this birth where I was just like, I'm having her at home, unassisted, like free birth, and people, again, they called me crazy. I was like, well, this isn't that different from the first time.
Exactly.
They're calling me crazy then. They're calling me crazy now. Who cares?
It's your experience, not theirs.
Yeah.
So technically you could have a holistic birth even if you're at a hospital.
Yeah.
So no epidural then?
Yeah. It's just more, I've been a doula now, and I've done a couple of births, and every time I've been at the hospital, it's just been like, it was difficult for me as a doula because I'm like, okay, these women are saying one thing, and then a different thing is happening. And that makes me really freaking sad. Yeah. Like if you're like wanting a home birth and we start at home and then you transfer and you get a C-section, it's like, like a 180 from where you wanted to be and to where you are. So it just takes a lot of like information. It takes a lot of empowering yourself and really just prioritizing your diet and your movement and prayer, meditation, like all the things. That your mind is a lot to do with having the successful birth.
Yes.
So yeah, you just got to be like a headstrong person to get through that.
And it's terrible is the timing that we're when filming this. Johnson Memorial is taking away their maternity and OB care. I
just saw that and I'm like, what are women going to do?
That's what I was thinking.
I'm so confused.
Like that was our local hospital in Franklin. And you can't be totally upset with Johnson Memorial because technically like they're just not getting the funding.
Yeah.
Like sooner or later they're like, what? Oh, we had to do something.
Right.
So it's not all Johnson Memorial's fault.
Right.
And like I've been to Johnson Memorial as my OB. So now I have to get a different OB.
Right.
And you had a good experience there.
Yeah. I always I've talked about my birth experience then versus Freya on a different podcast. And I was like, I hear women traumatized at their births more often than not. They're traumatized by birth. And I was like, I gotta say, I was not traumatized. I was not traumatized at Johnson Memorial. They did not like, I don't even actually think they asked if I wanted an epidural, but like during my appointments, they were like, wow, no one's ever just like said that they straight up didn't want it. So this is the first time that we're not administering one. Like in years, they told me that. And I was like, oh, well.
They listened to you.
They listened to me and I really, really, really liked all the doctors there. And I did not have a bad experience having Hermione there. You know, my breastfeeding journey was a little iffy there. I didn't have a lactation consultant. I used WIC, their consultant, and it wasn't successful. But I tried to educate myself. I didn't come from women that breastfed, so I wasn't surrounded by women that could help me. And it takes a village, truly. So that is something that, you know, I didn't get there, but you know,
it's so confusing because a lot of people are like, I only use formula or I only breastfeed. It's like, oh, like what do you do? Like even for someone like me who doesn't have a child, I'm like, that sounds like a nightmare trying to figure it out.
Right.
So with Hermione, what did you do?
So I knew that I wanted to breastfeed and I did the classes and I did everything that I could. And then in the hospital, she wasn't latching very well. And so I went to WIC and it seemed like I would go to a WIC appointment. She would latch. I'd go home. She wouldn't latch anymore. And I'm like, is it the chair? What's happening? Like I would go there. And so, but then, you know, my mom, we were NICU babies. And so we were my brother was in the Ronald McDonald House in Florida and he was like 2 months early. And then I was 2 or 3 weeks early. And then my mom actually lost her first son premature. He was Sean. He was 6-ish months when he was born. And so it was a terrible thing for her. And her birth experiences were just traumatizing, all three. And so in the 80s, they weren't pushing for you to breastfeed, especially in the NICU. They're just like, obviously you're doing formula. And so, and then the age of my Nana, they did not breastfeed. She did not breastfeed. And that was a big time where they were drying up their milk in the hospital. I've learned that like listening to birth stories of like women now in their 70s, 80s, 90s, they were just putting cabbage leaves on as soon as they had the baby, putting cabbage leaves on their breasts and it's like automatically formula. So I didn't have anyone surrounding me. I was like the first out of my friends to have a baby. So I wasn't even around friends that were nursing and having a breastfeeding experience. So I tried so hard. And it was probably 2 months that I kept trying. And then I ended up supplementing with formula and I fell into the trap of just like, I felt really sad about it. It kind of took a long time for me to be like, okay with it. But also being a single mom and having to like outsource help so that I could go to school and things like that. It was hard.
And everybody's different, right?
Yeah.
Like some people only have formula and they're completely fine. And some people only breastfeed and they're completely fine. So it's just finding that happy medium balance.
Yeah.
But it depends on what the decade is, the generation is that they're demonizing. And then you're like, I don't know what to do.
Right. So with Freya, I I've never pumped. She's never had a bottle. I was so traumatized by my first experience of not being able to do that with Hermione as long as I wanted to.
Yeah.
That I was like, because there's kind of like this anxiety that comes with pumping where I would pump and they're like, you're not making enough. You're not doing enough. You're not enough. You're not enough. You're not enough. And I actually had this experience where I came home from the hospital and I was trying to nurse Hermione and my real milk was coming in. And I remember being in the shower and hearing downstairs people talking and saying, she's starving that baby. She just needs to give her formula. And I bawled my eyes out and I was like, I'm starving my baby. I'm starving my baby, you know, and like that was my mentality. And so now I was like, I never want to know what I don't want to pump. I don't want to pump and make it seem like I'm not doing enough when my baby has like 8 rolls on her thighs. Yeah. She's getting enough. That's how I did it. You know, I was like, I'm looking at her. She's great. She's fine. I'm not going to pump. I'm not pumping. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to traumatize myself again. So I never did it. And so I kind of like give that suggestion to people that are like struggling with that. It's like, stop the obsessive way. There was a woman that would make everyone weigh the baby's diaper to make sure that they got enough. And I'm like, that's obsessive behavior.
Yeah.
That's not normal. We need to stop obsessing about like all of these gadgets and things like that. Like I've bed shared from day one with my baby.
Yeah.
With both of them. And we're fine.
Just fine.
She sleeps in my bed from the moment she was born. I popped her out in the living room and then we went upstairs and she was in my bed ever since. So I was like, there's a whole push of like, you need these little socks that track their heartbeat and you need to pump and you need to do this and you need the best breast pump and you need a walking breast pump. You need a pump that you can pump while you're driving and you need little beanies that measure their, like, I'm like, no, I don't have any of it. I don't want any of it.
The baby and pregnancy market is so insane right now. And then it falls down to maybe like what you just said. You don't feel enough.
Yeah. Ever.
It's so
you
hard
stop
on
trusting
women.
your instincts too. When you need little socks that track everything and you need to you have little trackers on your phone that you breastfed for 3 minutes at 5:05 and then at 6:09 you breastfed for 10 minutes and then you change their diaper. You need to put that in your phone. Are you joking?
Oh my God.
Like, why are we doing this to ourselves? Like, it's so unnecessary. It's just like one of those things I'm like, okay, do you know what you should have on your baby registry? Things for you.
Yeah.
You should have postpartum howdy nutrition on your nursery like items. Like you should have like food. You should have like wellness things on there that are for you. Like more so than like all these little stupid dumb gadgets for your baby. Oh my God.
And it's
a snoo. Are you joking? Sorry, I'm so anti-snoo. I'm sorry if anybody has a snoo.
It's so dumb because people are just doing this to make money.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's like one of the most profitable
businesses.
Oh, yeah. Is like, because women never feel enough. So if you prey on a woman who is wanting the best for her baby, which they do, then they're going to do whatever you think they need to do.
You're profiting on fear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's fear mongering for sure.
It's awful.
Yeah. I didn't have a single thing like that for my babies. Like even my first, I was like, seems kind of unnecessary. I got everything thrifted for Hermione. You know, I was like, I don't think I need like a brand new this. I don't need a bottle warmer. I don't need this and that. I was like, this is just so much. Like I already have enough on my plate. Like being a mom is enough. Like you don't need all the things.
It's ridiculous. So finding just talking to you about your experiences formed you to do the job you have now.
Yeah.
So it's just so much. Yeah. I think it's ridiculous how much people put into it. Mm-hmm. And then it's just more of, like you said, you're not enough. You're not enough.
Yeah.
And fear, it's just, the market is supposed to help you, not hurt you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's supposed to be there for the things that you actually need. But when you're so convoluted with everything that you don't know what you actually need, then you think you need it all.
Yeah.
So,
and for you, it's like, no, I just had a home birth and then we hang out on the bed. And for everyone else, they're like, I need this crib. Yeah. I need this hospital. No. I need all of this when I get there. And like, if you have that, we're not saying you're completely wrong. Everybody's different.
Right.
But it's just,
you know,
so many people are like yapping at you in industries and you're just like, what do I do?
Right. It's asking the why too, because there's been people in my life that have these behaviors that are a little more like obsessive, I guess. And I'm like, I didn't have an ultrasound my entire pregnancy.
You trusted yourself?
Yeah, I just trusted myself. And I'm like, my baby's moving. I can feel her. I'm connected to her. Like, I know. But people will be like, oh, I need to go get a sonogram. Like, I've had doula clients that are like, I want to go get a sonogram. I want to go. I'm like, okay, but why?
Yeah.
Like, what we need to like dig down a little deeper and figure out the why, because your baby's okay, you know, like, and if your baby's not okay, like, you'll really feel that your baby's not okay. Like, but you've been so disconnected from everything, from starting from your cycle. You are put on birth control. You are told this is what happens, whatever. So there you go from the jump. You're disconnected from your body. So it's starting young. And then you have all these experiences with different people in your life. And then you're disconnected from gaslit, you know, understanding how you're feeling. And then that rolls into birth and marriage and everything. Perimenopause. If you're not understanding from the jump, like all of these things, then it's just going to keep rolling over and you're still never going to be in tune with yourself, so that you're not going to recognize things. And that's how they want you.
Yeah.
That's how they want you.
They're basically making a market out of women not trusting themselves.
Yes.
And that's why, like you said from the beginning, birth control.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so confusing.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to dive so much into your experiences before we talk about the business, because that's how you formed your business.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about Freya's birth and her experience. So Freya, you had at home.
Yes.
Which for me, I'd be like, oh my God, I'd be so scared. Like, what it, you know, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But talk about your experience with Freya, the pregnancy, and then the free birth at home.
Yeah.
Start from the beginning with that.
Okay. So I got pregnant first try with Freya. I knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
I did it. I literally
awesome.
Like, not to get too, you know, into it, but I was like, I came home on my lunch break and I was like, all right, I know where I am. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And I was pregnant and I took a test 10 days later and I was like, yeah, I knew it. I knew what I wanted. I knew it. I got pregnant the first try. And that's when I like cleaned up my diet, and I had contacted a birth companion in the community, and she helped me. She introduced me to the Weston A. Price Foundation and all that. And then I did not see a doctor my whole pregnancy. I trusted myself. I did my own research. I followed pages. I read books. I talked to other women who have done the same thing. I think I found a community of women that were like really into just sovereign birth, and that really appealed to me. And so it wasn't a far jump from the first time of like going in, know what I wanted, knowing that like my birth with Hermione was empowering, amazing. I got to be a mom for the first time, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
And so thankful for that. But knowing like, oh, I mean, this would be like so much better at home. But I thought home births were just like for like rich celebrities or something. I don't know. I was just like, I never even was like exposed to that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, you know, 13 years ago, Instagram and all that wasn't what it is now. So I wasn't following all these pages that were like, I didn't even know that it was a thing. I thought that my birth with her was like really natural, but I was like, but it could be more natural. So like, let's do it at home. And so I got to say, like, I have a really supportive husband who did not question me at all. Like, I said, this is what I want to do. He's like, okay. And so I always share all these memes all the time that are like the crazy face Barbie or whatever. And it's like, my husband said I can't have a baby at home. I'm like, what? I don't understand. What are you talking about? He said no, but like you're
like the Barbie
it.
That's like,
yeah. And I'm like, I cannot relate. So my husband like didn't even freak out. He is not a part of the medical model. Like he is I don't want to like say he's like a holistic dude. I wouldn't go that far, but like he definitely does not subscribe to like the medical industry or anything that's not real. So like he was really supportive. I think if anyone was going to be supportive, it would be him. Awesome. So I didn't really have to convince him anything. I just knew what I wanted to do. And then I did have a birth companion who she's just like a wise woman, like, you know, and I had my mom there who's a nurse. And so, you know, you can like make that however you want. I know that there's been free birthers. So I was just like that, her and her husband, and that was it. And that's fine. Free birth for me is just not being a part of the medical side of things. Most of the time it's just like not getting sonograms and not constant checks and all of that. Like it's just trusting your body and being intuitive about that. So, yeah, that really appealed to me. I really did well with it. I did not really have any anxious moments where I was like, nope, can't do this. I need to go get a sonogram. I need to know that my baby is moving or whatever. I really just like really leaned into the whole trusting myself thing. And, yeah, my birth with her, a part of it too is, Hermione is like my best friend. And so I was like, I can't imagine her not being at the birth, you know, like my first baby, my first introduction to motherhood, like, and they're not going to let at the time she was 10-year-old in the room with me at a hospital. Like they're going to be like, no, she can wait. And it's like, no, and I don't want to do that. There's no instance where I don't want her there. So, we had so much fun. Like we were like singing Spice Girls and I was in the pool and she put my my yoga ball like in her like robe or whatever. We were like dancing and my cats were around and my dog and like it was just quiet and still and amazing. So it was just like it was something I can barely describe, but it was just an amazing experience to have at home, you know, like be in your own bed and like your own things. And she was like making me red raspberry leaf tea and bringing it to me. Aww. And like everyone was so supportive and never questioned me. My mom never questioned me. She was like, if anyone's going to do this, it's freaking you. So like she was like, if anyone I know is going to do something like this, it's going to be you. Yeah. So she never questioned it at all. And yeah, it was just amazing. I don't know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking about right now is a lot of people are like at a hospital, I feel like they have like a limit on how many people are in the room, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what the limit is? I don't. Is it like one person?
I know that
and the doctor?
I know that the last birth that I was at, she had a midwife and then I was the doula, and we didn't even stay because she went in for a C-section. So that's the kind of experience that I've had in the hospitals. We were allowed to be there we were at Community North, but yeah, I think at Johnson Memorial it was only one person. Like my mom was in the room with me for Hermione. So I don't know. Like there's all kind, you can't eat. You can only have such and such this. It's just like, man, I was eating whatever I wanted. Like,
that's awesome.
Because like, how are you supposed to go on? I think your body needs nourishment.
Exactly.
And then like all of these different interventions just like prevent you from having the stamina. I mean, it's a race. Like you have to have some stamina to go through birth, especially in natural birth. So why would you just be like starving yourself? It's like they don't want you to have a natural birth in the hospital. They say that they do, but
why do you think that is?
Oh, money.
Exactly.
C-sections are the highest paying thing. If they push Pitocin on you, run up that bill. Like run it up.
When people on TikTok are like, come through my medical bill with me for a birth in the US.
There's a holding your baby fee.
I was like,
a skin to skin fee.
It almost makes you like not want to have a baby because it's so expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then it's like so confusing.
Yeah.
So listening to you be like, oh, I had Freya at home and with my family and I did what I wanted. It makes me feel better about having a baby.
Yeah.
You know, it's so scary.
Yeah.
And like people who run a marathon, they have snacks throughout the marathon.
Right.
They are eating little like those gummy, like, sugary things, which by the way is all sugar and sodium. And it's like, it's so weird. Like, it's so contrasting. Yet for you, you're perfectly healthy. Freya's perfectly healthy. Yeah. If anything, Freya is like she's probably thriving. The most healthiest person in most rooms. Yeah.
She eats sardines at the park. She's just like gnawing on a fish head. People are like, weird. I'm like, she's healthy. Okay.
She's fine. Let her be.
She's good. She's getting those healthy fats.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you are, let me go back to my notes, a certified holistic doula. So explain to me, what does a doula do?
Yeah. So doulas are really just there to like support you emotionally. So midwifery and like legal, I've worked with my naturopath. She's a like a holistic midwife, meaning she uses her naturopathic medicines and things. So she serves as a midwife, but like midwifery in the context of like right now, it's a medical license. You have to have a license. You're a doctor. Practice. Yeah, to practice. And so it gets dicey because everything that they do is like, can't do that. Like they like, it's almost like this facade. Like they approach things as like, oh, you have a midwife. That's great. That it seems holistic. Like you said, like holistic has this like, I don't know, view.
Stigma.
Yeah. Stigma. And midwifery in the context of the medical model is they still have a license. So if you're a doctor, you have a midwife, sure. And you go to a hospital, your midwife can still be like, I don't know, we should do what the doctor says. So like the doula, if you have a holistic doula, is there to say, I don't agree with either one of them.
Yeah.
We should do this, or how are you feeling? Because so much of like my birth experience had nothing to do with anyone else. No one else was ever like, if I ever came to my birth companion and was like, I remember being like, I think I learned the why thing from her. Like, why do you think that? Why do you want to do that? Was because I remember being like, I'm going to get this iron, the Spiriton iron. And I had just stopped being vegan or whatever. Yeah. And so I was like, my automatic assumption was, okay, I'm probably low in iron. So then I started taking it. She's like, why are you doing that? Do you know that you are? And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Actually,
like,
no.
Wait a second.
And why am I doing that? So like, so that context of like asking why, that's something that I do as a doula, is like, why do you think you need to go have another sonogram? Why do you need to add this prenatal? Why do you think you need that? Why do you do this? Like, and just having, it's kind of like therapy where you're just like, oh, they didn't really tell me what to do, but I left being like, oh, I think I know what to do. You know,
they help you along the way.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between a regular doula and a holistic doula?
Honestly, most doulas that I've met that just call themselves a doula more usually have a holistic approach to things, meaning like supporting natural birth and like natural medicine. I got that title from I studied with a woman named Wapio, who is like an elder midwife, most amazing woman I've ever met in my life. I took Freya to my training with me for the week. It was great. All of them were just like obsessed with her.
Yeah.
But she was practicing midwifery back in the 70s in Georgia when it was illegal to be a midwife. So she was crossing state lines and doing all kinds of badass stuff. And she's just the most perfect person. She's in her 80s now. And but her whole approach was just really like supporting the woman and not forgetting about the men either. That was a important thing too, is like sometimes you're there for the husband, for the guy. So like having like that mentality of just like the holistic whole 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 approach to holistic medicine, and a holistic approach is like that's a unit, and you're not just serving one part of the unit in order for it to work. So like my husband certainly had questions, you know, for like the birth companion that we used during my pregnancy, and she, you know, she was like very upfront, and she got just as close to him as she did to me about answering his questions and like being a really good confidant for both of us. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
so the
so
holistic approach is just, serving the unit and having them tap into what they need, not serving everyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the hard part.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. This episode is brought to you by Studio Space Franklin, a bright, welcoming studio made for creatives and small business owners. Whether you're planning a photo shoot, filming content, recording a podcast like me, or just need a quiet, beautiful space to focus and create, Studio Space Franklin makes it easy. The studio features gorgeous natural lighting, versatile backdrops, flexible setups, and props for just about any season or brand vibe, all with simple, stress-free booking. Studio Space Franklin is owned and operated by Kara Wagner of Miss Kara Photography, a fellow small business owner who truly gets it. You can rent the studio on its own or book Kara as your photographer or videographer to help bring your vision to life. With experience since 2008, she's worked with families, brands, events, headshots, and more. A woman-owned studio supporting other creatives and small business owners? We love to see it here on Womanaging. Ready to book the space, book Kara, or both? Visit MissKaraPhotography.com/Studio Space Franklin. That's Miss MISS Kara CARA photography.com/Studio Space Franklin. Go support. Thanks, guys. So what's the difference between, because and we've talked about a couple different roles, midwife, doula, birth companion, how do those all connect but are different?
Yeah. So the holistic, midwife, they don't have a medical license. So that is more so like a holistic doula.
Yes.
But she just has the medicine, side of things, like the holistic medicine, like homeopathics and things like that, herbs, stuff like that. But if you have like a licensed midwife, they can bring like Pitocin and like different interventions that I don't necessarily like love or agree with. So I mean, there's sectors of different hospitals that are just midwives. They're like midwife OBs, I guess. And so, there's that. And then doulas are just the emotional support. Holistic would be just more the wholeness approach.
Yes.
Like I said, I don't really know, birth companion. So she studied with Billy Harrigan, who is a midwife in Canada. Oh. And apparently in Canada, it was illegal to attend a birth if you were not a midwife. Illegal.
That's so interesting.
Billy, who is a total badass too, like Wapio, they're like very similar in their approaches.
Yeah.
And she created this whole program basically to formed a birth companion type thing where it's like, it's so different. Their model is different. I couldn't tell you exactly. But they don't call themselves doulas. They're just, a companion. I don't know. That's actually a really good thing that I should probably know the difference between. But she was a companion. She had a lot of knowledge.
Yeah. I feel like right now in society, we, as just being Americans, need doulas more than ever.
Yeah.
Emotional support. Yeah. All of that. Because like we've been talking about this entire time we've been together, there's so much back and forth and so much conflict, even just trying to become a mom, being pregnant, but just also in the real world, there's so much conflict. You're just it's hard. A lot of people are like, it's hard to have a baby right now.
Yeah, it is.
So many people say that.
Yeah.
So I think being a doula and having a doula is a really important thing right now. How many births have you done as a doula?
I've supported 2 in one at home, both were home birth transfers to the hospital. And then one I supported throughout her pregnancy, and then I wasn't at the birth. But there was a lot of like blockage within them. And I think it was a lot of like the world telling them they needed to do things. And then that's how they ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've kind of come to a point where being a doula is a little difficult for me, which is why I created my postpartum business, was because I was like, I think I can't keep doing this, like being a holistic doula and really, really, really being like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then these poor women letting everything else get to them and being like, all right, I got to go to the hospital. And I'm like, no.
You're throwing the gloves in.
Yeah. And I'm like, wait, did I fail? Like, you know, like it
makes you then be like, did I fail?
Yeah.
Which you didn't.
I know.
You know, everything, like everyone's different. Everyone's birth is different.
Yeah.
You did what you were hired to do.
Yeah.
You know, there's only so much, like, it's like a therapist.
Yeah.
You can tell people to do stuff, and then if they're not going to react or give in, then you're like,
you can only go so far.
Do.
Yeah, you can lead a horse to water, but
yes, you can make the horse drink the water. Oh my gosh, love that. So that was kind of your start into Howdy Postpartum Nutrition.
Yeah.
So talk about the start of that. When did you start Howdy Postpartum? How did it become what it is today?
So I started realizing like nutrition eliminates so many issues in pregnancy with like the morning sickness and spikes and different things and in the way your body feels and how you're moving and everything. So I was like, that made such a big difference in my second pregnancy. I really feel called to do that as a package because postpartum, the fourth trimester, is so often ignored. It's like, you had a baby. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Are you good? Like, and you're like, I'm not good.
Yeah.
Like, I was struggling. I had Hermione on a Sunday, and I went to my Thursday night class. I was pumping in my car. She was 4 days old. I should have been staying my ass in bed.
Yeah.
I should have been at home, but society made me believe, like, get back to the grind. You got to get back out there. You got to test tonight. You got to go to class. Like, and I was just like, all right, y'all. Yeah. No wonder why my breastfeeding journey failed. Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to pump in my car, like in the Ivy Tech parking lot. Like, what?
This girl means business.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I should have been slowing down. Like, so that priority for me, that's why I started Howdy, was because I just was like, women need to feel like it's okay to slow down in this fourth trimester. Like, we don't need to get back to the grind. We don't need to just, like, society already says, you got 6 weeks of maternity leave. You better get back out there. It's like, whoa. Like, first of all, that's stupid. And I wish that wasn't a thing. But if it is a thing, I want them to, like, nourish themselves as much as possible within that 8 weeks so that they can feel okay. Yeah. Because it's hard.
So hard. I feel a lot right now is, well, if I don't get back to my job, then I'm going to go behind.
Yeah.
And there's really not the right resources available for people when they have a baby. Like, they feel like paid leave, like 6 weeks, that's it.
Right.
Like I don't feel like it should be 6 weeks.
No.
And
like,
then you
different
feel
countries,
guilty.
it's depressing to look at different countries, what they get. Like a year paid maternity leave. Dads get like 2 months at home with them. Like, the difference in your mental state that it would make for women in this country, I mean, astronomical.
I feel like right now in our political environment, we're like, we are seeing a lot of, we need to have more babies. We need to have more babies. We need to have more babies. But where's the support
for that? Yeah.
I was like, but we only get, some people don't even get 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's not the support that we truly need.
Yeah.
And that's why I think your business, Howdy Postpartum Nutrition, is so important, because you are supporting that journey.
Yeah.
How did you pick the name?
So I'm of Scottish descent. My last name is Mckie, and Howdy is that's the name for like a midwife in Scotland, and they have all these cool like little like traditions. So like when you have a baby in Scotland, like you open up the window so the soul of the baby can come in and like reach the baby, and then they always have a bowl of oats after you have a baby, it's like tradition to always eat a bowl of oats. And so they have all these cool things, and Scotland's like my motherland. So I grew up in England, but we're Scottish. So howdy. Yeah, that just means midwife.
I love that.
I'm not a midwife, but like, I'm in the birth world. So
exactly. Yeah. So what all does Howdy Postpartum Nutrition offer as a business?
I do food packages. So I have like an a la carte menu with like nourishing soups. I do like I source everything locally. So every bit of meat that I use is either Fisher Farms or different meats that I've sourced from the farmer's market.
Yep. All
of the fruits and vegetables, everything's organic, locally sourced. I got my certification from Postpartum University, which is like an online course. It was about 6-ish months.
Yeah.
And I got the title of Certified Postpartum Nutrition Specialist. So I'm not a nutritionist. Like I don't have my degree in nutrition. I have a degree in agriculture actually and teaching. but I have that title and just learned so much about food, like just the importance of like soaking grains and fermentation and things like that. So that's a big part of what I do and what I talk to women about.
And do you do consults as well for people? Like, you have the menu to pick from, but for maybe someone doesn't know, do you do consults as well?
That's a great question. I've wanted to do that. And when I got my certification, she like taught us how to have those interactions. And I would love to start doing that with people, as far as like, there might be people who are like, I know how to make, beef stew, but like, I want more information about how to do it or how to source it or things like that. So yeah, I haven't actually done a
consult. They just order it.
Yeah, typically, but it is something that I would like to offer. Actually, yeah.
Do you deliver?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Where all do you deliver to?
I've done as far as like north of Indy, but I do like my local like Franklin, Greenwood, Whiteland, Southport is probably what I would do as far as like a local. And then if it's like further than that, I just a small fee of like $10 because it's crazy out here.
Exactly.
But if you order the first 6 weeks package that I have, that's always included. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So how long you had Howdy Postpartum Nutrition?
I started it last March. So it's almost been a year. Yeah.
It's a baby.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
And it's slow going, but it's really like great because most of the people that have ordered from me, they order again and again and again. So most of my customers are like repeat customers. They've like ordered, they'll start off small and be like, okay, I'm going to get like a couple of stews and some bone broth. And like I make these liver infused cacao cookies that are really great. And I dehydrate and make my own liver powder. And so I sprinkle it into my cookies or stews or whatever. And so most people will like get a few things and they're like, oh my gosh, that was so helpful. Like I'm going to get like 4 more things. Yeah. And then so that's really been the bulk of my people, is just like repeat customers or telling their friends or getting it for their friends. I just had one of my customers, she got a pretty large package when she was pregnant, and then she just I'm working on that order right now actually, and she's gifting it to a friend. Aww. So she was like, this is the best, like I wish people would like do this for baby shower gifts instead of all the things that they don't need.
Yeah.
Versus like this is needed. Yeah. So especially I've seen a lot of people say like oh my gosh, like this was a godsend whenever my husband went back to work, like, and I was just like in the trenches, and I would heat up some soup and be like, oh my gosh, I'm nourished.
Yes.
So
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I think people should, like we've talked about this entire time, kind of go away from societal norms.
Yeah.
And like what you said, this is a perfect like baby registry
gift.
It's you're giving to yourself, but you have to give to yourself to give to your baby.
Yeah.
Like that's what a caretaker is. And I talk about this a lot with my girls in the service industry. You can't give your best if you're not being your best.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And another thing you said was, I have a lot of repeat customers.
Yeah.
which are like regulars.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you treat your regulars, they come back, they tell their friends.
And then
that's your best marketing advice right there.
Yes.
Like that is it. Just doing good business.
Yeah. So I don't have to post a lot. I'm not a super social media person. I guess like my personal page, maybe I'm on there more, but like my business one, I'm not like constantly making content, and I don't have time for that. But I really don't have to post that much. Like I'll post a few things, and then like people find me. So it's crazy. Like a few people have found me just searching for postpartum food, and then I come up and I'm like, yeah, would love that. You know, like I don't need to like constantly be on there to get the customers that like need to find me. I kind of feel like they'll find me if they
truly look. And it's like there's not a lot of people that offer it right now, right? You're kind of like the pioneer for it.
So actually, when I was pregnant, there was a person that I got just like a few cookies. She didn't make like stews or like anything like that, but she made like a few nutrient dense muffins and some cookies. And I think I got some tea, like a tea mixture from her, and she delivered it. And then I kind of, from her was like, this was great. Like it wasn't that much. It didn't feed me for very long. It was like a snack.
Yeah.
But I just remember being like, this would be great. And she delivered, like, that's wild, you know? And then her and I actually like talked back and forth a little bit. And she was like, you can do it. Like I don't, because at first as a woman, you feel, oh my gosh, they're going to think I'm trying to steal this from them. If I have this idea, like women pitting each other against each other when really they're not like that, you know?
Not at all.
I was so scared to message her and be like, this is such a great, I'm going to get my certification from Postpartum University. I'm having this idea. And I was so scared that she was going to be like mad at me or something. And she was like, this is amazing. Like we should have this in every town, every county should have a delivery service for postpartum moms. Like, and I was like, oh my God, thank you. Like, thank you for not being like upset, you know? And I was like, that was my initial thought going in, but she was so nice. Yeah, it
really is.
Yeah.
And I love that your business gives back to women in a time of need. But this is a time of need that almost every woman goes through.
Yeah.
And it's not talked about. It's so sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's so inspiring, especially for your girls to see this right now. You know?
Thank you.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
And then I feel like you're such a hustler. Even though we don't live hustle culture, you're still kind of a hustler because you do the doula, you do the Howdy Postpartum Nutrition, but you're also a yoga teacher, which has been a big part of your life.
Yeah.
I read on the Yin Room website that you've been doing it since you were 16.
Yeah.
How did you get into yoga at 16? It's kind of a disciplined hobby.
Yeah. So when I always tell this story, I told it in my yoga teacher training, like when we were getting to know each other, I was like, it's so funny. I was like 16, maybe actually a little bit younger than that, 15 or 16. And I went to like the, a Books A Million or something, or whatever bookstore. And I got like one of those little kits that have like a yoga block and like a CD, like a kind of corny CD. And I remember doing it and being like, I love this. And then I just, my pregnancy with Hermione is when I first really got into prenatal. And I was like, oh, wow, I would fall asleep every time. Every class, I'd be like, oh, this is amazing. So yeah, I mean, not like a crazy skilled yogi, but I do yoga and I love it. And I love the principles of it. And I love that, you know, how good it is for your mental, especially. I met my two best friends in Baby and Me Yoga, which was a free offering at City Yoga where I got my certification from. And yeah, Baby and Me Yoga, all of our babies were there with us and we just all became best friends. So now I've been in a group chat with them for 2 years now.
I love that.
Yeah. I was like, yoga brought us together. I love yoga.
And like you said, you're like, I'm not like a super talented, crazy, flexible yogi.
Yeah.
Whereas yoga can be kind of intimidating to people because a lot of people are like, oh, I can do this, this, and this. And then there's like hot yoga. And there's so many variations. Like, no, you're just like, no, I do it because it makes me feel good. You're breaking the stigma.
I know how important movement is for your body. Slow movement in postpartum, especially in pregnancy. Like, I felt so connected to my babies both the times. I had trouble with connection the first time because I was on my own and I was just like so confused and sad and you know, in government housing and, you know, like on everything that you could think of. And I was just like, I'm alone. And yoga really brought that connection to me, like for my baby. I could feel her and I could move, and it makes me want to cry right now. But like, then knowing how important that connection is, and then doing it with Freya too. So yeah, yoga's been a big part of my life. I'm excited to finally start teaching. It's been a year now since I got my certification.
Yeah.
So
you a 200-hour one, right?
Yeah.
It's commitment.
Yeah. And it was, awesome. You know, I had never left Freya, so I had to leave her on Monday nights, and it was a lot. And I was still breastfeeding. And so it was just like, it was a big commitment, but I got the scholarship. So it was all paid for. And because I write a mean essay. And so I got the full scholarship at City Yoga. And the intention is, once you get that, not certification, the scholarship, sorry, you kind of promise to give back to the community. Yeah. So I've been, my sweet grandfather that I love just so much, just recently had to go into a nursing home after a fall. And so I'm going to start doing chair yoga there at the, what's it called?
Nursing home?
Yeah, the Masonic home.
Masonic? Compass Park?
Compass Park.
Yes.
I was like, I've always known it as Masonic home. I'm like, I've always known it since I was little. So every time I say Compass Park, I'm like, oh, I can't ever think of that.
I still say Masonic home. Whatever.
But yeah, I talked to the people there, and I'm going to start doing chair yoga there with the elderly. So that's going to be my awesome. My way of giving back with yoga.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
How does yoga positively affect a woman in pregnancy and postpartum? Yeah. What are the differences that it can do?
Oh, yeah. So like so much of delivery is like hip openers. So doing hip openers and like being just like so open during learning that through yoga. Oh my gosh, it helps so much during delivery. Like there have been so many testimonies of people that like will be in prenatal yoga class, and then they come to baby and me and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did prenatal. Like it made a world of a difference in my mind. We do thing called screaming toe, which is like you're like up on your feet like this, and you're just like resting kind of like the like bottom of your butt almost like on the top of your feet, and it's like you hold it for like a minute, and it's kind of like not exactly how a contraction will feel, but the endurance of like holding something that's uncomfortable and kind of hurting a little bit.
Yes.
And then just like building that stamina and stuff. So that, just hip openers, and just really just like community and talking and getting used to like voicing your needs and things like that. Like in prenatal and in Baby and Me, we do a like a share, and so there's a lot of like community and just voicing your opinions and getting help with things that you might be struggling with. Like you're like, oh, I have like such lower back pain. And so the teacher will be like, oh, we'll work on this. We'll do this move. We'll do, whatever, eagle arms, open up your back, things like that. So it makes a huge difference. Definitely. And it's not like the strenuous type of thing that people tell you need to be doing. You don't need to be like going to the gym and lifting weights and doing all this crazy. It's like more like gentle stretching and like opening up, not just like building muscle, you know? Like, so
that's beautiful. Yeah. Well, I know we're both busy humans, busy women, so I'm going to wrap up with my last 3 questions, even though I could sit here and ask you like so many questions all day long. What is one piece of advice you wish you had when starting Howdy Postpartum Nutrition?
I wish that there was some sort of like community, I guess, of women that are, I guess I don't know of any like women business owners that are like offering help on how to like build something. Because when you're starting something from scratch, like especially with food, I guess. Like my husband was like a big help because he's a chef. And so he knows about ordering and things like that, but doesn't know how to navigate the world like a woman does.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, I can't like march in somewhere as an I'm not an executive chef. Like I have a different energy than you. So I guess I wish there was like more of a collective of women that like help other women start businesses, because when I tell everyone I am not a business minded person. Most of the time I'm struggling. Like I'm writing like I was making my menus and I was putting prices and I was just like throwing prices out there. And my husband's like, what are you doing? Like, that's so low, or that's not going to be sustainable, like this and this. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know this stuff. Like, so I guess if there was like a collective of women that could just like help you from the basics, like, because I'm not a businesswoman, so I don't want to fail. But it's hard for me to just look up things and just know what to do. So
yeah, and when you like your business, you're still pioneering it.
Yeah.
So when you look it up, there's nothing there. You're starting it.
Yeah.
So I totally agree. I feel like that'd be so great.
Yeah. If there was just like women that are like, oh, I've started a business and I'm willing to like put myself out there to help other women. You know, I know there's like grants and things like that, but not just like women specifically in your community, because there's plenty of women in our community that have started businesses. But I guess like opening up that gateway, I guess, to like allow them to ask you questions, because I'm sure that there's women that I could go to in our community that would be helpful, but I don't know who they are.
Exactly. And that's kind of the reason why I think starting Woman Energy was so important to me, because I wish I had someone to talk about it with. And like we said before, I was like, I'm kind of being a little selfish. I have a couple things I want to ask personally, but these will all help everyone. Though.
Yeah.
They really will.
And I hope that like people know that like, even though I don't know exactly what I'm doing right now, like someday if this is more successful or whatever, that people can come to me and I'd be like, this is what I did, because I love helping people.
Me too.
Just love helping people.
That's really our business.
Yes.
You're kind of service industry. You really are. That's kind of your business model is.
Yeah.
Okay. Whenever you have self-doubt or feel uninspired, how do you rid yourself of those feelings?
I think of the women before me that have done it. There was a lot of lineage that was healed from my home birth, free birth experience, because there was so much fear. And like my grandmother was just absolutely scared to death that I was having a baby at home. And my mom had to go, Mom, you were born at home. And she's like, oh yeah, in Shelbyville in 43, with a lot less information and people around me. And so like my birth, I feel like healed her a little bit and healed my mom, because my mom seeing loss and seeing like, you know, just the traumatic births that she had, seeing how like the amazing birth that I had at home really healed that lineage. So when I feel self-doubt, I just kind of like think about the women of my past and like the doubt that they've felt and how they've gotten through it, and then I can kind of get through anything.
Yeah. That makes total sense.
Ancestral again.
Ancestral, baby. You gotta heal. What is one thing you want young entrepreneurial women to know but does not get brought up enough in the mainstream media?
That you're smart enough and that you can do it. Honestly, like if it's on your heart, if you know, whatever you believe, but if God called me to do what I'm doing, so like whatever you believe, whatever is on your heart, like that's what you're supposed to be doing. Like you are where you are because that's where you're supposed to be. And anything that I've ever like tried and failed, I still learned something from it.
Yeah.
And I've failed many of times and I always learn something. And when things don't work out, I always know that there's like a reason, that there's another thing that I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
I've always felt like a Jill of all trades and it's always kind of been like a problem for me.
Yeah.
That's why I have all these titles. Like I have my degree in agriculture and I have my master's in education and I want to open up a forest school and I also want to have a birthing center in the woods for women and I want to do this. And I'm like, I always thought that was like a bad thing, like to be so passionate about so many different things. Cause I was like, I don't have that one thing. I'm not an artist. I'm not a musician. I'm not this, but I'm a creative and I still like have interests and they all kind of intersect, you know? Yeah. Like when I think about all the things that I'm interested in or like God has called my heart on my heart, like I'm like, well, they all come together in the end. Like I have a degree in agriculture that winds into my nutrition business and me talking to farmers and knowing what I'm talking about, and teaching helps me help women teach themselves, like yoga, you know, it's like all these things. I'm like, you know what? They're not all far from each other.
No.
So,
not at
you know,
all.
like just do what you're called to do.
Yes. And you can do anything you want at any time. It's never too late.
Yeah.
I love having all those titles to give you at the beginning because I feel like I wanted a majority of this episode to be your opinion, what brought you into this. And then the end, we talked about business because who you are makes what your business is.
Yes.
And that's why I was really excited to have you on.
I feel like there's a genuine part of that. Like if you're doing what you're supposed to and people are called to you for a reason, it's because, you know, you're being genuine about it. Like I don't have millions of followers or views or whatever, but like every single person that's come to me through my business is like important to me. Like when I see them out, I hug them, I love on them, like, and I know like that what I did made a difference for them. Exactly. And that means everything to me. So
I love that. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to tease for How Do You Postpartum Nutrition or your yoga classes? Anything you want to
I have a new offering of meat stock because I'm obsessed with meat stock now. So that's a new offering. I just you know, making some content for that. And then I've been talking with Jen and I'm gonna hopefully start doing baby or some kind of toddler and me, baby and me yoga again. Everything I do revolves around like being able to be with my baby. So that's why I also started postpartum nutrition, is like I have my cottage license to work from home, to cook in home. And so I was like, I can do this with my baby. I don't have to subscribe to the separation of the mother baby dyad. So everything I do is so that baby can be with me. And so baby and me yoga, toddler and me yoga, so that she could be there.
It's genuine.
So
if anybody wants to follow How Do You Postpartum Nutrition, it's on Instagram. It's HOWDIE. And then Dana has her own page. She's also featured in the Yin Room, which has a website and a wonderful social media presence. So feel free to follow her on there. But that is it for me and Dana this time. I have so much love and like respect for you, Dana. So I'm really happy you came
I love
on.
what you're doing. You're so young and you're doing so many things and it's so cool. I admire you too.
I tried. Thank you for coming on today. Much love. We're out. Thanks, guys. Love you.